we really tend to go to these practices, go to movement, go to community, go to breathwork, go to yoga, go to a class when we're at our low point, when we've hit rock bottom. And that's a mistake. It's like a get me out of jail free card to get me up to my normal baseline. But what if we start doing these practices from baseline when you're good? Then it's exponential. Then you're going into the next level of Peter, the next level of Neil.
Neil, this has been a long time coming.
A long time.
Welcome everybody to episode 29 of the Unbrandme Podcast. This is a very deep and meaningful podcast for me because I've been wanting to do this with you for many years, but we've also wanting to do this from a different angle and from a different consideration. You fit a lot of the attributes of every single guest that we always want to bring here. We have a deep belief at Brandwagon that better people build better brands, and better brands can build a better world. And over the years, you've really gone in and become a brand and gone into so many different phases of the story of Neil Agius to always, to become the brand and to build other brands as well. So it's super meaningful for me to see you over here. Yeah, extremely long introduction, okay? So we're going to have to get over with it. So you're an ultra athlete, you're an Olympian, world record holder for the longest non-stop unassisted current neutral open water swim. You were my swim coach and my kids' swim coach. You're the founder of the Ocean Mindset. You're the co-founder of the Kaizen Hub. You're a life partner to Lara. All-around great guy, most times at least, except when you're hungry. And most recently, father to the beautiful Ida.
Yes.
Welcome to the Unbrandme Podcast.
And thank you for having me. It has been a long time coming, and I think things happen in a certain way for it to be the right moment to do this as well.
I think it's a perfect time now. Neil, as I said, we've known each other since we were kids. I remember you being that little tiny pissy kid running around at Neptune's and getting in the way of all the others. I am 6 years older than you, 7 years. You're in your last year of being a 30-year-old.
Last year being 30-year-old.
40 in June. I've seen you at your strongest, but I've also seen you when the world was about to end, when we pulled you out from the Mallorca swim. I was there to see you redeem yourself and the crowd going crazy after you did your 142-kilometer swim and you lifted yourself out of Lapsi to a cheering crowd. I mean, I still get goosebumps just remembering that moment. And it was a crazy storm. It was a real terrible day. I've seen you on countless podcasts, and I'm hoping that the questions I ask you today won't be very similar to those that you've been asked before. And everybody knows you, or at least feel that they know you. But if I had to introduce you, without mentioning the records, the swims, the titles, the founders of, and all that jazz, who is the man left standing or floating or swimming in this case? Who is Neil Agius?
Yeah, it's quite a tough question, because my whole world revolves around my ocean swimming, my ultra swimming, to what made me who I am today.
Yeah.
But if I have to kind of strip that down, I'm a very kind of calm guy. I am really on this journey of self-development and understanding how it's like a video game, when the more you play, like when your sons play video games, the more they play, they get these weapons and these coats and these things. And the more that I work on my self-development, the more I kind of get these weapons to go through life, and understanding that there's no end to it. You think you get to the end, you think the end is over there, but once you get closer to the end, you realize that there's another step and there's something else you can do.
So you're always on this pursuit of self-discovery and always on this pursuit of self-improvement.
Yes, definitely. I think this is kind of encompasses who I am today, and it kind of happens naturally now.
But this wasn't always you. And you are, as you said, like a product of the experiences that you've been through and the tough stuff that you've been through. But let's be clear, the tough stuff that you chose to put yourself through. I remember the days when you were my swim coach many, many years back. There were days where you sometimes would forget to turn up for training. I've seen the genesis of Neil Agius. And I remember being on that first boat when he decided to swim around Malta, when there was nobody there except I think my kids and Gordon's kids and your parents and family to cheer you on at the end of your swim. When was the moment that you decided, what, I need a change in my life, I need to start doing this?
It wasn't really like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to become an ultra-distance swimmer. It was something I thought was cool to do after, as you mentioned, Olympian, multiple national record holder. I think I want to swim around Malta, and then I can kind of retire, hang up my goggles, hang up my swimsuit, and I'm done and walking away from it all. And that was the plan, especially towards the end of that swim. You were there. It was intense. It was tough. It was like I had only trained myself physically, but not mentally. And when the time came when I was kind of having these internal battles, I would just spiral within those thoughts. And so...
Which thoughts specifically?
It's kind of like, why are you doing this? This is stupid. You should get out. This is pointless. You can stop. It's okay. And I think it was just, at that point, it was me being stubborn that actually made me actually make it to the end. And I remember saying like, never again, never again. And then a few days later, things started to come into play, like, and me starting to understand certain things of like, wow, that was actually amazing. It wasn't the worst experience of my life. It was actually amazing. And so I said, I think I want to do another one, and I want to prepare myself mentally for it as well. And then when I swam from Sicily to Malta, it clicked. I'm like, this is what I need to be doing. 100%. This is my purpose. Where I thought I had my purpose, where a swimming instructor, running the swimming school for so many years, like, I can teach children really well. I really go down to their level and understand the dynamics into how to teach somebody how to swim, especially children. And that's what I thought I did. And now it's kind of split between me being this like self-discovery of pushing the outer limits of the human capacity and finding the beauty in discomfort.
Discomfort is something that we're definitely going to be tapping into in a while. I remember when we first talked about the ocean mindset, it was a kind of package of your grit to the world. But today it's a full-blown philosophy and a business. You ever feel like a prisoner to that brand? You ever just want to be kind of the Neil who is just sitting there, who is still unrecognizable? And, you know, I feel like you carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. Everybody recognizes you, no matter where we are. It's Neil.
Yes, everyone does recognize me. Even just walking here, someone just stopped with their smart, got out, gave me a hug.
No way.
You're the best. You inspire me. Got back in the car and kept driving in the chaos that there is around this area. So in the beginning, it bothered me, right? I have my own personal space, and people would just come up to me, and I'm like, this might not be doesn't feel to me the right moment to be jumping into a conversation with me. But then over time, it realized, like, who am I to not let someone come and speak to me? If that can change the trajectory of their day, of their week, of their life, if that can inspire them speaking to me, who am I to tell them not to? And that change of reframing of it just changed it. And I'm always happy to kind of have conversations with everyone and share stories or see how I can give them advice on anything that they ask me as well.
Does it ever feel like a big weight on your shoulders?
No, because I'm not trying to be somebody. It is who I am.
Yeah.
And so the way that I am is the way that I am. I'm not an influencer. I live my life the way I live my life. And if people are attuned to it and people are finding value of it, then that's great. But I'm not an influencer.
What is the deepest thing that somebody has ever mentioned to you, or somebody who maybe was an unknown to you, whoever walked up to you and said, because of you, I did this?
Yes, there's lots of people who, just yesterday I met this 70-year-old man in the shop, and he kind of was in front of me and turned around and he told me, listen, I had just been diagnosed with cancer when you started swimming around Gozo, and I watched you closely and could understand how much power we have as humans and how it has been helping me get through it. And he's in remission now. Wow. So, there's lots of people in depressions powerful. And how they kind of caught on something. Might not even be the swim, right? It could be something that we said, something with the team, the whole system, the whole expedition together that catches their eye and sparks something inside them to want to achieve their own dreams and want to say, you know what? I've been putting this off for ages, and I really want to do it. And if this guy and this team and these people are doing this, then I can do it too.
It must feel extremely powerful.
It
but it also must be extremely humbling at the same time.
It's definitely humbling. It's something I don't take for granted, and something that I find really, really empowers me to the point where it comes to... it will be almost selfish for me not to swim again if I can help so many people, if I have this skill that can, or have honed this skill and has learned this way to be able to swim for so long until I can't swim anymore. then if I don't do it anymore, it's like a disservice to everyone and to myself as well.
So you do feel that pressure on you that, you need to keep on swimming for everybody else as well.
No, it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. I love being in there. I love being with my back up against the wall, with every bone in my body, every muscle, every thought telling me to stop. And I don't know how to keep moving forward until I learn a new skill in that moment, in real time, to be able to keep moving forward. It's my happy place almost. It's like, there's the saying in Maltese, and hop is swat. Like, I enjoy it because that is where I'm at my maximum learning, my maximum place of receiving information, immersed in nature. Like, when was the last time I didn't touch my phone for 60 hours, 3 days, when I was swimming for 60 hours, connected to the ocean, immersed in my environment, with my community, with my team, with a nation, with Europe, with people from all around the world, watching to see if it's actually possible to do this. And we don't know, right? We're going into it blind.
Yeah. This wish for learning, it wasn't there when you were a kid, no?
No.
You weren't a lover of the educational system.
Definitely not a lover of the educational system. It was very difficult for me at school. I found it difficult to find the place where I excelled in the school environment. But the space for learning came, and being open to it and even having the confidence to it came from the Mallorca swim.
The Mallorca swim is like a ghost to me. I was there, I remember filming you coming out of the water after the jellyfish. I saw the heartbreak. I think for me, it was probably one of the toughest moments, even writing that press release to tell everybody else, like, guys, swim's over. But looking back at it now as the brand builder of the ocean mindset, that failure was probably the most profitable for your growth, right?
100%. I mean, went into it, it was my 4th or 5th swim, each one successful, each one more successful than the one before, into it as a world record holder, thinking I know everything to a certain extent, right? But I've hacked the system. I understand how to swim for a long time, and I can just need to go in and do it. And that was a wake-up call to, like, you actually don't know anything. And that opened up the space for me, diving deep into understanding the mind in different levels and different depths.
So when you look back at that moment, like, how do you view it in your life? That specific moment.
The final moment.
I remember, there's video footage of me telling you, don't touch the boat, don't touch the boat.
I remember you telling me, I remember the voice. But there was also a sense of responsibility, right? It were like, 60, 100 jellyfish stings in the middle of the night, pitch black. It was a very high intense environment. And I thought I could handle high intense environments, but actually I couldn't.
I think we all thought we could.
And there was also, my body was, with all that venom inside me, it was literally like vibrating. And now it was no longer safe for me to swim, to a point where, imagine I got into an epileptic fit with all that venom, and that means the team is going to jump into the jellyfish infested water and trying to drag dead weight onto a boat in the middle of 2 countries in pitch black. It didn't make sense, but I also lost my presence. Didn't even know how important it was until that moment. I was thinking about, okay, if I don't get stung again right now, how can I swim for another 60 hours? So we're now moving away from actually being in the present moment and worrying what's happening down the line. And this is what we do in our business as well, right? We're in a crisis, and like, oh my God, we have a problem because tomorrow we're not going to be able to hit our deliverables for a client. But you need to be there, understanding what you need to do, the steps you need to take to be able to give the deliverables in time for tomorrow.
Of course. So, going through that tough moment in your life, going through that really tough episode, when was the recognition that this is something that you could use to help people and build the ocean mindset, to actually help people on the business side to actually develop the ocean mindset? When did you realize this is something I could actually grab and teach?
I always felt that once it was conceptualized. It was something that they can really learn from, because I never felt like I was special. I don't have the same body like everyone else. I don't have bigger lungs. I don't have anything that is kind of allowing me to do what I do. So that means what I do is something that I taught myself and something that is trainable. And then can I articulate this and turn this into a system where people can also learn this way?
So what would you say are the fundamentals of the ocean mindset?
The fundamentals is the breath. I think that is, our breath is something that we know that it changes our state immediately once we alter our breath. And that has a lot of value, and it's grounding and presence. Then there's movement as well, and the movement is whether it's walking, doing sport in nature, spending time out, increase of dopamine, increase of endorphins. And then there's community as well, because you cannot do anything alone. You can, really, but doing it in community, doing it with people, with like-minded people, elevates the whole experience. And when people want to start changing their life and make even big changes, the hardest thing that people don't understand is that you most likely need to change your friends, because you need to surround yourself by people who normalize the goals that you have.
How do you convince people to adopt the ocean mindset? How do you inspire them to adopt the ocean mindset? I'm talking specifically people who are maybe not exactly open to change, or not exactly open to.
Of course. So I have the opportunity, thankfully, to go to a lot of corporates to sit down and share the ocean mindset. And it's a workshop that it's an immersive experience, right? So it's very well curated, very well taught out, where there's breathwork and storytelling within one space, because me just talking about something can only reach to a certain level. People get inspired, people get motivated. 2 days later, they say that was cool. 1 week later, they're living their life as normal. But if we include breathwork, and they are actually trying these sequences that are specifically functional breathwork that's specifically designed to take you to certain states, whether it's to focus, whether it's to calm down, whether it's to give you energy, then a few of them, once they do this breathwork, will be like, oh, wow, that really helped me. And then the percentages double, triple to actually them taking it up as a practice, so they can function at a high level, focus for extended periods of hours continuously throughout their day. And we really tend to go to these practices, go to movement, go to community, go to breathwork, go to yoga, go to a class when we're at our low point, when we've hit rock bottom. And that's a mistake. It's like a get me out of jail free card to get me up to my normal baseline. But what if we start doing these practices from baseline when you're good? Then it's exponential. Then you're going into the next level of Peter, the next level of Neil.
So rather than focus on saving me now, focus on winning all the time.
Exactly. And like breathwork, for me, it's like I start my day at 80%, right? An average thing. Breathwork and things that happen within my day. Let's start with the things that happen in my day. Can be even like difficult times at home. The baby, I didn't sleep too much, with our newborn at home, or having trouble with my colleagues, or whatever it is. And I'm at 60%. Doing breath work can help you elevate yourself back up to that 80%. So it's a no-brainer for companies to introduce this practice to their staff, because they're getting 20% out of their staff more. And we've gone beyond only us needing to hit our targets. You as a CEO can understand how important it is for you as a human to human that your colleagues, your employees are good, are well, are happy, have the tools to be able to help them maintain this high pressure space that we create for them as well.
I don't even know which one to unpack first of all these points that you've mentioned, but no, you have to be surrounded by water, everywhere. Yeah, is this your attempt at creating a swimming pool on our table?
Just testing the mics.
They work. Neil, when I got to know you, and when we started getting closer, you were definitely not the most, open person to go out there and give chats and give presentations. In fact, I recall You'd be the type of person who would recruit people like me to speak on your behalf so you wouldn't have to do it.
Exactly.
I think one of the things I've been most impressed by, because I always believed that you could do the things that you've done, not without a little shadow of doubt, but I always believed that you could do it. If you said that you could do it, you could do it. But I never believed I could see you get up on the stages that you get up to today and give the type of presentations that you give today. You're giving keynotes and you're running workshops with people who, a number of, well-seasoned keynote speakers would wish to get there. And this is way out of your comfort zone.
I think.
How do you get that?
I think it's like the most intense one had to be when I went to London to give a workshop for the team at Netflix.
Why was that intense?
I don't know. I think it's the pressure that I put on myself, right? And it was me while I'm speaking, while I'm sharing the stories, I'm in my head saying that I'm not saying it properly and they're not understanding what I'm saying. And so I'm there, right? So what I'm saying here today, everything I say to here, I'm also on the receiving it, saying it to myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not this perfect person. I'm normal, I'm human. I have the same thoughts, the same doubts, the same insecurities and the same issues that we all have. And I think it's more like I'm more maybe a bit of a risk taker. Like when I did my first public workshop or came to give your team a workshop that was some time ago now, was I ready? No, I don't think so. But me putting myself in that situation to have to get myself ready is a big superpower that I have. Like I'm super calm in like it is what it is now. Like okay, they're there, and I have to do it. Like I can't just kind of turn around and swim away.
Yeah, and this is the moment that you're building up towards at the end of the day. If you don't do these type of things, you're just going to be the swimmer. Yeah,
and I really believe that it really can add so much value to everyone's life. And me knowing that gives me the confidence to want to do it more, And I have had some really cool opportunities and 500 people live on television, giving my pledge to Envision 2050, that was also another one that was that was good. It was tough because now I've gotten comfortable if it's not scripted. When things are a bit more scripted, then it's a little bit harder because then you can't make a mistake.
So to color within the lines is always going to be much harder.
Yes. Like now, if I don't say something that maybe I would have wanted to say, nobody knows except me.
15-year-old Neil, what do you think he wanted to achieve? 15-year-old Neil sitting down at Neptune's.
15-year-old Neil wanted to go to the Olympics and was very determined to figure out a way to get there. And at that time, swimming was very kind of like not as popular as it is now. And I remember during that year, Olympic year, the national team coach had left and gone back to their country. And I used to go down and train on my own. And that built character. Swimming builds character. Having my parents sending me swimming in winter, having to learn time management without even knowing I'm learning time management. My routine was wake up at 5, go swimming. From swimming, I'm straight to school till 3:20. My parents used to pick me up every day from St. Edward's in Cottonera so I can be at the pool in time for training at 4, at home at 6:15. Okay, now I need to start doing my homework. And then we do it again the next day. And then we do it again the next day.
So you've always been used to doing extremely long hours without sleep?
Yes.
Or used to sleep at school?
No, could be.
And if you had to tell 15-year-old Neil where you are today, do you think 15-year-old Neil would believe you became the person you became today?
Definitely not, because it's not even like, I didn't even think 7 years ago Neil would be where Neil is today, And so what's amazing about it is that there's no end goal and it's always feeling. Do I feel like this is the right move? Do I feel like this is what I want to be doing? Because it's important to love it, because there's going to be days from the things you love that you're not going to want to do it anyway. Like there's many days I don't want to go training, But I understand that if I don't do it, then the doubts of when I'm swimming are going to come up more, and because you didn't do that, you didn't do this, and like when we're swimming between two countries, it's wild. Like the no low is too low. No low is too low. You think you're at a low point, your mind is powerful enough to take you lower and lower, and then there's no high is too high. You know,
which was the lowest point you've ever hit?
The lowest point has to be Mallorca.
Okay, lowest point when you're swimming, not Mallorca.
Lowest point when I'm swimming, not Mallorca.
I mean, in
Gozo.
Gozo round, yeah.
Gozo 7.
Which point?
Day 6. It has to be day 6. And so each day was 15 hours swimming every day. As the days went on, I was getting more tired, swimming slower, understanding that the slower I swim, the less I'm going to get to sleep. And started over-exerting myself, going faster than I should have, using up more energy than I should have.
Which means you get tired faster.
But I was like, the adrenaline was so high.
The adrenaline from
the team, from
stress.
myself, from the swim, from me almost like going into this point like, I've got this. You know, I was swimming at 4 kilometers an hour at points on day 6, you know, and starting with my 1% body battery on my wearable as well. And it's kind of what reminded me about that is like when we're in this high functioning space and we're doing so much and working, we're oblivious or we're blinded by how quickly you're going to burn yourself out until you just stop for 1 second and then it goes boom.
Quick, big wave.
Ciao, you're out. You.
So what got you out of that point? What helped you? Because you completed it.
Yeah.
You say yeah, just about.
That
was a big sigh.
Yeah, because I think it was like I was stopping every 40 seconds, telling the team I can't do it. Like I had wearables on at that point, so my heart rate was well, and I was barely moving, shooting up to 170, dropping back down. So the doctors were really panicking, and the chafing on my face, on my hand, under my arms, it's like the pseudo-cream wasn't like no longer, my body wasn't accepting it anymore. It was just moving as slowly as I can to get to the closest point that will get us out of the water to be able to have a rest and then do it again for the last day.
But what were you telling yourself? I know there's a Neil of tough love which says yourself, listen, you put yourself out here, you have to do it. Is that what you were doing to yourself?
No, at that moment it was survival mode, and it was really breaking myself down. Ultimately, if I really have to break it down, it's like this is stupid, this wasn't actually possible, and then it was also designed to fail, so this is what you wanted, right? So it's always, my mind always just takes me to that space of, listen, you chose to do this. It's naturally goes there.
So rather
because
than
I
focusing on of course you did. So rather than focusing on the end and focusing on the goal, you're focusing on like get yourself together.
Yes, mate. And efficiency as well. I think efficiency. This is one I learned in 2021, swimming from Linosa to Gozo. After watching the videos of me swimming the last 10 hours, I'm like, what? That's how I was swimming? How did I even make it to the end? Super inefficient, wasting energy, wasting time, body position wasn't correct. And so then I went on this deep dive into making myself making myself as efficient as possible in the water, but not in the first 20 hours, in the last 20, when it counts. Everyone can run 1 lap around the track in good form. How can you run 100 kilometers with it still being efficient? Because it's fully present, right? My chin needs to be tucked in, my core needs to be engaged. I'm now learning breathing techniques where I'm inhaling more than I'm exhaling, so I have more air in my body, so I am higher up in the water. So it's always like turning knobs into my operating system, which is my body, to keep me swimming for as long as possible, for as efficiently as possible.
Do you see yourself as an entrepreneur today? Because you are. I mean, you have 2 businesses which you're running, 3 businesses which you're running beyond the swimming part.
Yes.
Have you accepted this?
Yeah. I mean, I never really actually thought about it, but yes.
You're a capitalist now.
I never really thought about it, but yes. I mean, I love all of them, all the things that I do, and I have without them, it's not possible. Without the team, it's not possible to even begin to start. Like everything that you see behind Neil Agius has an engine behind it to be able to be successful.
Let's talk a bit about the businesses where you're not the lead, or at least you're not the super brand. Let's talk about what you're doing with your life partner and business partner with Kaizen, but also, with one of your oldest friends, with Mark at the swim school. You're a co-founder there. You're a co-partner there. Tell me a bit about Neil as a partner and a founder, as a co-founder rather than the man with a mission.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. No one has ever asked me this question before. So obviously, I'm not even sure how to answer you. Huh?
How do you compartmentalize the fact that when you're a partner in a business as opposed to the man with the main spotlight on, do you manage to take a step back where now you have to okay, this is not about me, this is about us, and this is not about us, this is about the business that we're building? Like what goes through your mind and how do you run those? Yeah,
I think though they're always run in the same way, because even though I am the brand and the product of Neil Agius and I run it, I'm also have a CEO who takes decisions together, also with Maria, the creative director, and Solen, who's the project manager. And it's the same with Mark. I'm never for me, my leadership style is never, I'm the leader, I'm going to tell you what to do and what we're going to do. I'm the dreamer, where I kind of dream these crazy ideas, and then how can we together bring these dreams into a reality, the ideas that I come up with, some of them are quite crazy. How we came up with Goats 07, the process of it as well, from what it started as to what it actually ended up. They kind of left it a little bit in my hands, and within each month I was making it harder. And then I'm like...
Harder for you or harder for them?
Harder for everyone. Because it started of starting and finishing in the same point, and then it's like, okay, we need to swim longer than one lap around Gozo, because we need to make this impossible, because we need to design it to fail, so we can understand when we're at this lowest point, what is happening when we're down and out, what's happening when we're burnt out, what is happening when we feel we can't get through life anymore, and understand and learn from that space to then design workshops that can help people go from zero to hero. And so then we changed the venue, so we're arriving starting from one location, finish another location, so each time it gets harder and harder. But they never tell me no. They kind of tell me I'm mad. They tell me I'm mad. They're like, okay, we're taking this away from you. You're no longer can touch it anymore.
How important is adrenaline and risk taking in pushing you and fueling you to do what you do? And is there a mirror to that in everyday business?
Yes. I think adrenaline is dangerous though, because adrenaline dies down. I was running on adrenaline, and that kind of threw me off to what I actually had to be doing. It can sidetrack you completely, whereas you know what you need to do and how fast you need to do it for the whole 7 days, and the adrenaline pushed me over the edge.
And what's the equivalent in the other businesses which are not ultra swimming? What's the equivalent of adrenaline in Kaizen or in the swim school?
Yeah, so in the swim school, obviously the adrenaline is the feedback that we get from the parents to them turning into that's how it works, our business. We don't really advertise. It's kind of, our advertising is through the lessons. The children come to swimming lessons, the parents see the level of the lessons that we're doing, and then they go and they come back. They tell their friends and they come back with their friends. And the adrenaline is making sure you're remaining within a certain standard and have the capacity to take on such a bigger project. So more children means more organizing, and you can get stuck into the wrong side of things.
And in life, and in business life specifically, who are the jellyfish?
My mind.
And is that the same, you think, for most CEOs and most business people?
Definitely. That all begins and ends with the mind. Our mind is capable of making us achieve something we're not capable of doing, and can make us fail at something that we are 100% capable of doing.
Is there anything else you think that distracts us from? Because I think if we take the metaphor of the jellyfish for your Mallorca swim, your mind was fine. Maybe the fact that you were maybe overconfident, maybe we all thought that we were bigger than this and the jellyfish were not going to stop us. We were more scared of sharks than we were actually scared of jellyfish. But I think in business, there must be other distractions, and the jellyfish were the distractions in Mallorca. What are the distractions in business today that you come across when you speak to some of your clients?
I think life is the biggest distraction. Business has become very intense and so much because the luxuries, so let's take tech that we have been given or that has been kind of discovered, we use it to work more. And so whereas 10 years ago, pre-COVID, everyone kind of drove to every meeting, now we're doing meetings online. So instead of having the capacity of having 5 clients, you're fitting in 10 clients. That's adding a lot of stress and a lot of more people to get back to, and makes it much harder. And also AI, right? We're now have AI and we're using it. Instead of I finished this task an hour earlier, let me go home and let me do something for myself, we're adding another task and more work and more work. So we're obsessed about working.
So this, I have 2 questions.
Which is taking us away from who we really are and what really makes us happy. Which it's also could be work. So I'm not so I'm not saying it's not work, but there's other things that kind of keep us operating on a high level.
Okay, well, I mean, the good point is that AI can't take your specific job at the moment. Okay, so well done to you. You're probably one of the only people I've met over here who still can't be replaced with AI, but time will tell.
Time will tell.
The question though is like, and we've spoken about this before, AI, technology, work from home, sign up onto Zoom to have your client meeting and then you'll be able to fit more, you're boosting productivity. There's also a lot of comfort and luxury to it, effectively, because it's much easier to stay at home and work from home and get onto a call and not have to go through the niceties of trying to develop a deep relationship with a client. And you said it yourself, you like top is SWAT. You actually like the pain. How important is pain? And what's wrong? Is there an issue with the aversion of pain in today's society?
Definitely. I think pain and doing difficult things, as we get older, let's start with us as adults. As we get older, we start to cut out anything we don't like to do and only do the things we like to do. It's kind of normal. It's kind of like what we believe we deserve as well as we get older. But us only doing things we like to do comes to a point where we are no longer adverse to anything. And so we're very sensitive to when things aren't right and when we are stuck to actually having to do something we don't want to do. And that leads us into being more stressed, having more anxiety, because we're becoming softer. And this happens a lot with our children. So we want the best for our children. We want to protect them as much as possible. But this overprotection and not letting them fend for themselves and not letting them do things that might be difficult for them once they're put out into the world, and they're put out into the world for like at a young age. So especially now with social media and there's everyone's kind of business, but also sitting for an exam. If you've always protected your child and now he's 8 years old, has to sit for his exam and doesn't have mommy or daddy to save him. It's him with the exam paper. And if he doesn't know what to do and doesn't feel that uncomfortableness and isn't used to it, that's going to push him into panicking, pushing him to anxiety, pushing him to not believing in himself because he's never needed to.
And you've been coaching children now for what? Probably over 20 years. I mean, my daughter's about to be 18 and you were a coach already for
25 years, something like that.
So,
it's been a while now.
So you've seen and you've coached effectively some of the people who are today in the workforce. Have you seen a difference in the style of parenting and the helicopter parenting over the last 25 years?
Definitely. No. There's definitely a big change. I think one of the biggest changes is the way they protect them, literally. So if someone does something that they shouldn't be or isn't acting, they kind of always are ready to give an excuse for them. Not everyone, so I'm not saying everyone, but there are some that kind of, yes, but my son did that because, or yes, but. When you're trying to kind of explain something to someone and they give you the yes, but, they are creating an excuse why they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And is that creating weaker swimmers?
I think it's not only weaker swimmers. I think it's creating a weaker society. It goes beyond swimming, and it goes beyond anything. It's everything.
So what do you think is the balance between avoiding difficult stuff and doing things that gets you out of your comfort zone?
I think it's not avoiding. I think it's having tools in place to be able to move through the difficult stuff easily. I think that is what we need to be focusing on, not focusing on how they don't have the difficult stuff. Do that, and when you're there, try this, try that, and try that. And so then those skills that you are teaching them, they can use in every situation, whether it's sitting for an exam, whether it's about to stand up and give a presentation, whatever it is, whatever it may be.
So if parenting 1.0 was, chuck kids into the sea and let them
you can't do that today.
Drown,
you can't. There's no way parents can do that today. It's like will be.
So if parents, what is parents 4.0 like? Where are we today? Like, what should be the right parenting? If we're in 3.0 at the moment, where we're a bit too much helicopter, what does perfect parenting look like to you?
I'll let you know, since I'm now moved into this space. It's a balance. I think balance is key to not throwing them out into the sea and seeing if they float and tell them swim, 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 but giving them the tools to know how to swim.
I think you've obviously, I've seen a big difference between Neil, the non-parent, to Neil, the parent. I think I'm seeing, a Neil 5.0 in front of me today. And I think there's also the element of, the ultimate humility anchor to a certain extent. You've always been the hero in the boat, but now you're the dad. How has holding your child changed your relationship with risk?
To be fair, like, I do understand that I do take risks, but they're very calculated risks. From an outside point of view, the risk that I take is much greater. Like, if I see someone jumping out of a plane with a wingsuit, I think that's like super risky, but his craft and his study within it has he doesn't feel like he's doing anything risky. I think if I have to do another swim, there obviously will be certain things that I won't do and certain things that I would do to lower something happening, because ultimately I am immersed in the sea. So there are sea creatures, there are sharks. Whether there are sharks around islands or that I swim around is besides the point, because we've seen even in Malta, in Sleman last year, where there was a shark by a few meters away from the thing. So yeah, I think it would change it. I think I'm not planning to do a swim now. I think my role now is kind of the support system to Lara, who's doing an amazing job, and like the mothers are. It falls on them, right? And you're kind of the support system around that. So now, like I always tell her, like, now I'm the one on the boat and you're the one in the sea, and I'm the one passing you the things that you need to be able to do what you need to do. And it's amazing how the switches have flipped. But then there's also the moments where I get to spend with Isla, where I'm alone with her and really bonding and understanding, like to see the development of a baby, a newborn up close that is yours, is something that it's indescribable almost.
How does it feel being the person on the boat pushing the swimmer in the sea?
It's great being on the boat. I think
sure it is.
I think most places or most rooms that I walk into, I tend to be the protagonist in it, but it's important to not always need to be the protagonist. I don't need to be. I don't feel like I can always be on the boat. I'll happily be on the boat if you want to do a swim, Pete.
Well, I did my swim. I'm done now. Wasn't as cool as yours, definitely. But at least when I did it, nobody was swimming 100 kilometers, so we're good. I have so many questions for you. It's crazy. But what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
I think I hear a few rumors are from a third person that kind of I feel like I'm on top of everyone, or on top of everyone, and I'm better than everyone. But I'm really kind of a really super chill, down to earth guy, and I'm really never feel like I should even have this where people listen to me, this space where people are always listening to me and people are always looking for advice from me. And so, yeah, sometimes I'm just, I like banter, I like to joke around, I'm super chill.
When you're in front of a CEO who's been going through some tough stuff, but you know deep down that the tough stuff is probably self-inflicted tough stuff and the lack of wanting to change or wanting to grow as a person, and they tell you like, this is impossible, we can't do it. Like, how does that make you feel inside after you've been through what you've been through and you know the stuff you know?
I tell them, because I think holding information is like you're being a hoarder, whether of items or information. So I would tell them, I'll share it in a way where it's kind of like a story from what happened to me and what I did to be able to be out of that situation, and then kind of it's up to them whether they want to take that information on board.
Do you feel it lands?
I think because what I say is when I'm speaking and when I'm giving advice, it's like they've seen it, tried and tested, so they understand that it does work. And it's not like I studied something and I kind of am preaching what I studied. This is tried and tested. So people tend to want to be open to listen a little bit more. Doesn't mean they can even make certain changes, right? It's not for everyone. Not everyone has the capacity to do everything. And so you do see them changing slightly though, or giving them a different perception of how to look at something.
You've been on the end of hundreds of podcasts now, or at least 10s and 20s, let's put it this way. And I've seen so many interviews. Have you ever left a podcast or like this? Or actually, from all those podcasts that you've been on, like, what is the one question that nobody asks you and they should? What is the one thing you walk out of a podcast and say, I really wish we spoke about this more?
I think it's like on what level do I prepare myself for these swims, like the detail that we go into to be able to swim for 60 hours, the detail I go into, the preparation and the tools and tricks and things that I put in my everyday life to be able to do it. Because people are like, this guy can just swim for 60 hours, but there's so much to it, like the attention to detail of not even the 1%, the 1.1% that I've structured within my day, within my life, to be able to accomplish what I accomplish.
You've achieved more in open water swimming than nearly every other human has. And when you started doing this, there was no playbook. You coached yourself. You accomplished so much. You wrote the rules. Have you written the playbook yet? And if you have, like, why haven't you published it yet?
We're about to start writing a book. So that is definitely...
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, yes. It's going to happen, and we have our first meeting next week. So yeah, I'll be sharing a little bit about how, why, what for.
You feel like this is important for your legacy and also to empower other swimmers in the future to do what you've done with at least some sort of playbook?
Yes, I think it will be a little bit of everything, right? So it's not going to be about only swimming, but how that swimming is relatable to everyone. Those moments are relatable to every person. I've also recently put in ChatGPT into an AI system. How do you swim 100 miles non-stop unassisted? My ideas are better.
There you go. He's going to take AI's job now. What is the one question you still can't answer about yourself?
One question I still can't answer about myself.
Is there any like moments that you ask yourself, like, but why do I keep on doing this? Whatever this is, and what is the why for that? Is there anything that you still try to discover? I mean, you've been deep into your thoughts and into hallucinations.
Yeah, but
you've seen stuff that people haven't seen before.
Yes, deep into hallucinations as well. But, I think it's kind of like there's no end to it. So there's not like you can never know everything, because it's like I said, the more you know, the less you know. once you unpack something, you're like, actually, I know less. The more you get to know about ultra, the more you get to know about your mind and your capacity. It's just a bottomless pit. And it's the discipline and the dedication and the persistent study to keep digging further and further into it.
So what do you think is the biggest lie that people say or believe about mental toughness?
Biggest lie? I would say... just give me a second, let me think about this. Biggest lie about mental toughness, that I think it's pushing past pain. Pain in terms of physiological terms, it's like push through. But there has to be the preparation before you push through. Not sure if that really answered your question.
I think it does. So what you're saying is like some people stop themselves just at the first time of feeling pain, or the feeling that people can think that they can just send you off on a pain tangent that, it's just pain, just deal with it.
Yeah.
If you don't have the tools.
Like now obviously like ultras become super popular, right? And everyone's going for more distance.
It's becoming really annoying. Nothing's impressive anymore.
And because what's happening is when people go on that journey, they go on to a journey of self-discovery about themselves as well. Yeah. And that's very empowering. The only problem comes where people are trying to do too much, too fast, too soon. And they're always next, okay, I did a 100-mile run and now I want to do 120, now I want to do the next one and the next one. And your body has to have the moment to stop, to rest, to recover, to be ready for that next challenge. Like when we're at work, like if you're hitting targets and your team is not stopping, resting, celebrating, resetting, and then starting to go on for the next goal, the next target, then you're limiting your ceiling. Your ceiling of capacity is lowered.
Back to business for a second. What's the most unheroic thing you've ever had to do to keep the lights on in your business?
Most unheroic thing, I think, when we're teaching with we're teaching swimming lessons with COVID masks on, with in the pool, and when you forget about it and you're like trying to make a kid laugh because the kid's crying, and you go underwater with the mask on, you come up and you breathe in and you swallow the water that's around the mask. But we used to get swimming lessons with masks on, and I think it's with business, what we have is with all three of them is we'll do whatever we need to do to keep the business alive and to keep the business thriving. I think no low is too low.
Last couple of questions, I promise. I'm here because I'm really curious and finding out more, so I might switch the cameras off and keep asking and interviewing questions. But for those people running businesses, for those people building brands who are currently surrounded by jellyfish around them, what do they need to keep in their minds to keep taking the next stroke and then the next stroke to wade through those jellyfish?
Efficiency within themselves, within the team.
But efficiency is an operational thing. It's a...
No,
or is it the mindset?
Efficiency of themselves. So we're talking about the self here. So they need to be operating efficiently in terms of the way that they operate throughout their day. So if I'm not doing things sustainably, efficiently, then there's a lot of waste of time and there's a lot of stuff that is pushing me to work too much to remain within this space in my business. Then it's not sustainable. You cannot keep doing it. So eventually you're going to drop off the edge and you're at the bottom, and then you need to start again.
So to decodify and to demystify the hero, what you're saying here is like heroes are illusions that live in people's minds.
And unless you think of other people, right?
And unless it's a label that people give.
Yes.
And unless you focus on the efficiency, unless you focus on the training, unless you focus on the mindset and be present, there's no label that's coming towards you.
Exactly. I think that's a big key. But it's obviously it's easier said than done. What do you mean by efficiency? What do you mean by presence? Again, this is all in the ocean mindset of how to be present in rooms, how to be present for your team, how to be present for your family, how to be efficient for yourself, efficient for your team, and efficient for your family as well. It's all, we know we can't only think about business, because we step into that office only as good as we treat ourselves out of the office.
When 17-year-old Ayla decides that she wants to swim and beat your record, and she's just come towards you and asked you like that, I want to do this.
Ask your mom.
That's the biggest cop-out ever. Okay, just saying. It's probably a good idea to ask your mum. And she's probably got loads of experience.
I mean, I always ask her anyway. I always ask Lara as well. Kind of, it's a decision we take together before I do a swim. It affects everyone within my inner circle and around it as well.
So beyond the ask your mum bit, what would you tell her?
Follow me. I think I would encourage it if it's something that she wants to do.
Follow you, you're 58 at this point. Just so
not follow me. I meant follow me to let me tell you how to kind of best way to do it.
You think 18-year-old Neil would have listened to his dad if his dad told him this is how you do it, follow me?
So, remember Parent 4.0. I mean, if she's coming to me and asking me if she wants to do it, then if she wants to do something that is going to push her to understand her own capacity, whatever it is, whether it's to swim across a country or to try and be a ballerina and abroad or whatever outside of Malta, then why not? I think it will be a disservice of me if I don't, and I think I'm there, as we spoke about before, like there to support them, not them to support us.
I really look forward to the day when you call me and say, Pete, screw you, this just happened. But I'd love to know what your answer is going to be then. Neil, one final question. When, not if, they create a film about your life, what do you want the soundtrack to be?
So I'm not very I don't listen to too much music. I'm like no radio in the car. I like a quiet space of full silence. But there are songs that I do listen to from deep South American traditions that are about the ocean, that are about the sun, that are about the moon, that I tap into during my swim. So it will definitely be one of those.
I'm not going to ask you for the name because anyway, I'm not going to know which one to pick.
I'll send it to you on Spotify because I don't know the name either.
That'd be amazing. Mr. Neil Agius, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your thinking, your thoughts, your mindset, and I would say also a bit of humility today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I think it's always great to sit down and have conversations with you, and now we're kind of made it a bit more official as well. So yeah, thank you so much, and maybe I'll come back when Ayla's 18. I'll come back on the podcast and let you know how it went.
Hopefully my daughter will be running this podcast, not me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.